Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how to use the 3D tools in Illustrator. Uh, they're fairly good, and let's take a quick look. I just want to warn you that my Illustrator looks slightly different than yours. Mine's going to be a little bit darker around some of the edges. Let's just take a look at how to create a 3D object in Illustrator. I'm going to go to File, New, and what we'll do is we're just going to leave everything alone, and I'm going to say OK. Okay, so what we'll do first is I would like you to create me a shape. So let's use the pencil tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shape that looks like this. I'm going to hold it down and I kind of come around like this and like that. Make me any type of shape that looks like this. And then I'm going to go to Effect, 3D, and Revolve. And I'm going to move this over to the side so we can see what's happening. And we're going to turn Preview on. And what you can see is it's revolved our shape. Now I'm going to cancel this because I want to make sure that my outline color down here, or my stroke color, is something lighter. Maybe a lighter green, or in between a green and a blue. And then I'm going to go back to Effect, 3D, Revolve, and turn on Preview, and you can see now I have a three-dimensional shape that can easily be changed by rotating it, and we can see the wireframe, so I can hold down this little cube here and I can move it around. I can change a few things. We'll look at those things soon, but what I'd like you to do is just kind of move it into a place where you like it, and I'm going to say OK. Alright, now what we can do with this is, if you notice when you select it with your white arrow, we still have the line, the original line that you made. So if I drag a little box around one of those anchor points, I can move the anchor and completely change the shape. I can turn the handles and change the shape. What if I wanted this to come out a little bit more? I can pull that away. And we're creating a three-dimensional shape. I may want to take this with the black arrow and rotate it so that it is straight. Well, that's not going to work, right? Because if I rotate it, it's just going to change the spline. So I'm going to move this aside and move this down here. Let's make another shape. I'm going to make a rectangle. And again, I'm going to fill it in the stroke color with something light in color. Maybe this time I'll choose pink. I'm going to come up to Effect, 3D. Instead of Revolve, this time I'm going to go to Extrude and Bevel. And when I do that, I'm going to turn on Preview. And you can see what has happened. It is extruding out an outline of this shape. So I'm going to cancel this. And instead of it extruding an outline, I wanted to extrude and make a cube. So what I'll do is, instead of putting the stroke color as pink, I'm going to click this little swap button, and it's going to swap it so that the middle is pink and the outline is none. And if the outline is not none, be sure that you click on none for your outline or stroke color. So now it is filled in magenta and it is stroked in none. I'm going to go back to Effect, 3D, and Extrude and Bevel, and turn on Preview. Now you can see it's extruded a larger shape, or it's filled in the middle. I can move this cube around again. What if I want to extrude it a little bit more? See, it only extrudes this much. Well, that's the extrude depth. I can slide that up. It was at 50. What if we made it 200? Now you can see I have a bigger cube. If you wanted to knock out the middle, we can turn the cap off, and you can see through it now. But I'm going to keep the cap on. The next thing we'll do is we're going to change the bevel type. It is on none. I'm going to change it to classic, and you can see what happens. It gives it a beveled edge. I can try something a little bit more complex, complex 3, and you can see what we have. Now I'll say OK. Anything can be changed. With the white arrow, I can drag a little box around one of the corners, and I can change this shape to make it look very different. So I think I like this. I'm going to put this here. Let's look at another shape we can make with these three-dimensional tools. What if I made another shape with the pencil tool, but this time I created a half circle? Or even better, why don't we actually create a circle? I'm going to delete those. I'm going to get the ellipse tool, and I'm going to hold shift and make a circle. And with the white arrow, I'm going to select on or drag a little box around this anchor and press delete. I'm left with half of a line. I'm going to select this whole line and go to Effect, 3D, and Revolve, and turn on Preview. And I forgot to fill it in any color, and that's why I'm not seeing it. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to go to the stroke color. Anytime we're using the Revolve tool, we'll be using the stroke color. Anytime we're using the Extrude Bevel, we're going to use the fill color. So I'm going to change this to lime green, and then come back to Effect, 3D, Revolve. And let's turn on preview, and you can see a half circle revolved will give me a sphere, and I'm going to say OK. So what are we going to do with this? Well, for this project, I want you to take 3 shapes that you've created and then copy and paste and move them, or hold down Alt and drag, hold down or it's actually Option on your keyboard. If you hold down Option and drag your shapes, we can create new shapes or duplicate shapes. So I'm going to take this one as well, and I'm going to hold and drag and hold and drag, and I'm going to fill the scene up with my three-dimensional shapes. Holding down Option and dragging to create. And once I get everything filled, I'm then going to begin to change the arrangement. So if I wanted this sphere to be behind everything, I would select it with my black arrow and go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. If I wanted this shape to come all the way forward, I would select it with my black arrow and go to Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. Oh, I didn't choose that correctly. Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. I'm going to make one more of these shapes, and I'm going to hold down Option and drag, and then I'm going to bring that to the front. Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. Okay, so this is where I'd like you to be. If you want a colored background, so it's white right now, but if I want to color that in, I would take a large rectangle and drag a rectangle around the whole image and fill it in a color. I'll fill it in with my fill color, maybe black, and it's covering the whole thing. But if I select my black arrow and choose it, I can go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. So now you can see I have a black background around my 3D shapes, or in back of them. I hope you try this. Give it a try. Use the Effect, 3D, and the Revolve tool, and use the Extrude Bevel tool to create 3 shapes in 3D space, and then arrange them to create an abstract 3D design. Good luck!